Josh Lees is with me from the Palestine Action Group, who has been holding rallies in the city for almost a year now. Good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning.
So you talk to police regularly about arrangements for these protests. What are the latest conversations about in terms of the flying of these flags of a recognised terrorist organisation?
Well, I think it's very important to start with what's actually happening when it comes to this whole issue of the flags. It is Israel that is right now waging a war on Lebanon and potentially invading now Lebanon. It's Israel that's carried out brutal attacks and massacres amounting to a genocide in the Gaza Strip for the past 12 months. So when we want to talk about the issue of terrorism, we should have some perspective here. We should be talking about who are the actual aggressors in this situation, who are the main perpetrators of mass civilian deaths and casualties. And it's the same people, actually, usually who have been supporting those actions by Israel, who now want to whip up this kind of campaign, a bit of a scare campaign, I would say.
Right. I did get a message from someone earlier saying, look, I'm, it's terrible what's going on. I'm very concerned about the loss of lives, but I was shocked in the city when I saw these flags on the weekend. So in terms of the rally, would it be better, do you concede, to ask those who are rallying to not hold the flags of terrorist organisations?
Obviously, we are not affiliated with any of those organisations as the Palestine Action Group. But again, my starting point and our starting point in this conversation should be to look at who is actually the main perpetrator of terrorism right now in the Middle East. And it's certainly not Hezbollah. It is, in fact, the state of Israel. On the question of the flags, we can't totally control what people do at our protests, but we do advise people not to bring those flags because of the laws in Australia. As I've said, I think these laws are hypocritical, and there's a big double standard there going on in this entire conversation.
Have police asked you to ask people not to bring the flags?
Independently of the police, we advise people not to do that. We've been doing that for a year now. We did it again at the protest on Sunday because, as I said, we don't want people getting in any kind of legal trouble for this situation. So that's our advice to people. We urge people not to bring those flags. But as I say, it's important that people understand we don't agree with this policy. We don't agree with the way it's being talked about in this very hypocritical way now. No one's talking about banning the Israeli flag, are they? So this is a big double standard in the way that this whole issue is being talked about right now.
Right. Well, Israel's not recognised as a terrorist organisation, though. Hezbollah and Hamas are.
Well, perhaps it should be. What's happened in the last year? What has happened in the Gaza Strip? What's happened in Lebanon? Just in the last 2 weeks, they've killed over 1,000 people, the vast majority of them civilians. So Israel has killed far more people than Hezbollah has. So when we want to talk about terrorism, let's have some perspective is what I'm saying. And we should acknowledge that this is a very hypocritical way that this discussion is being played out. And as I said, it's particularly galling given that our government and a lot of the people now wanting to kind of whip up this scare campaign about a few flags are the same people that have been supporting Israel's actions. And
but you don't worry you're supporting community support, though, by having people support terrorist organisations?
We're losing community support. Well, no, I think the reason we're having our biggest protests for many, many years is because people are outraged by the actions of Israel, which is out of control, which is starting another war, and which continues to be backed and armed and funded by our own government, by the United States government, by the governments of Germany, France, the UK, etc. That's why they feel like they have the green light to start yet another war, to invade yet another country. This will be Israel's fourth invasion of Lebanon.
But let's remember how this began with the kidnapping of the hostages and the killing of people into Israel by Hamas, a terrorist organisation.
Well, if you think this began
Hezbollah
on October
has been
7,
firing
then you have a very short memory. This did not begin on October 7. This began over 75 years ago with the oppression of the Palestinian people. And Israel has been oppressing the Palestinian people and the people of Lebanon, in fact, well before Hamas or Hezbollah ever existed. This will be the fourth major invasion of Lebanon by the state of Israel. Lebanon has never invaded Israel. What about their security? What about their rights? What about their rights and their lives? It seems, again, in this conversation that the lives of the people of Lebanon and Palestine are meaningless for a lot of these commentators.
Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.